weren't certain what the turnout would be just because of the rainy weather that we've been having the last couple of days, which is welcome. But it's good to see as many of you come out here tonight that has shown up. We're gonna, first of all, this is how we're gonna do this. We've got some candidates that are here that want to speak and say a few things to you so that you get to know them. Then we'll have our favorite representative, Tom Harrison, who will come and give us an update, legislative update about what's going on in the House of Representatives. Tom represents District 130. And then we'll have our famous rants. So that's kind of the order that we will follow here tonight. First up, our first speaker is Judge Stephen Rogers. He comes to us for the 14th Court of Appeals. And we're going to give Mr. Rogers a chance to introduce him, say a few words. Yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Steve Rogers, and I'm the judge in the 268 District Court down in Fulton County. And I'm running for the 14th Court of Appeals, Place 4. The 14th Court of Appeals, just like the first Court of Appeals, covers 10 counties from Washington County over to Chambers County. It's a big place. It's a big area, and the courthouse is in downtown Houston for the 14th Court of Appeals, as well as the first Court of Appeals. It's the old Harris County Historic Courthouse, downtown Houston. A little bit about me. I'm a 20-year lawyer. Most of my time as a lawyer was in civil practice, and I did all the things in civil practice that come before the 14th Court of Appeals. The last year, I've been on the bench. 90% of my time has been spent doing criminal law. I've been trying to clean up the backlog from my Democratic predecessor that I kicked out of office in 2022. And most of my cases, unfortunately, have been child sex assault cases under 14. But none of those men are ever going to get out of prison.
Amen.
Yeah. None of them, ever. And in fact, in my website, if you go to steverogers.com, you can see a list of some of the cases and some of the sentences that I gave out. One guy got 2 life sentences, so when he finishes the first one, he can start another. But that's what I ran on. I ran on a tired of crime platform. I think we all did, all of us who ran for judge at a certain time. And I'm keeping that promise. I'm tired of crime, and I'm making it go away. Forever. At least for these guys. The Tea Party is near and dear to my heart. I'm a Tea Party conservative. I went to Baylor. I went to Regent Law School. I think I said I've been a lawyer 20 years. And I ran for office in 2020 in the blue wave and got washed out, and then ran again in 2022 and won. I've got 4 kids who are the most important things to me. I have a girl who's 18 and 3 boys from 15 to 8. And the 15-year-old is, I don't know what happened. Wife is little and he's, I don't know, it looks like me, so I know it's mine.
How tall is the post?
Yeah, right, but the post office man doesn't look like me. And I think the post office is a woman, actually. What else can I tell you? What do you want to know? Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask you some tough questions.
Yes.
I'm a lawyer.
Yes.
I was board certified. Are you board certified in anything?
I am not.
Okay. Before.
That one doesn't sound too good. You want this one?
Yeah, he's gotta get it together. I know. He's our organization man.
Right.
The question I asked is, are you board certified as a lawyer, which is a specialization. Many of our lawyers on the Court of Appeals are board certified in appellate law.
Yes.
And I would take it you are not. is what
I am
you
not.
said. Okay. Do you have any opponents in the Republican primary?
I do. Where is he? James Preston over there is probably going to tell you about my opponent.
Okay. I just always like to know that. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
And she's not board certified either.
That's fine. The other question is, as I recall, and I could be wrong, usually the youngest lawyer on the bench gets stuck with the criminal docket. And so what I hear you saying is you're doing mostly the appeals on the criminal cases.
Oh, no, that's not how it works in Fort Bend County.
Okay.
It's a random draw, and they push it into each court based on a random draw from the district clerk's office. And so that just happens to be what's in my docket. They try to make as many, and we're both criminal, we're a general jurisdiction because we're under 1 million. And so we get both criminal and civil.
On the Court of Appeals there?
Oh, no, you're talking about the Court of Appeals.
Right. You were before in district court.
I'm in district court now.
You are I'm sorry, you're in district court now.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're hearing both criminal and civil cases
Yes.
at the same time. Oh,
Yes.
okay, I get it. That's very unusual for us here in Harris.
Right? Because Harris has got that split.
Yeah, we got that split all the way.
No, I have it all, so I have to switch hats. In the morning, I'm doing the criminal docket, and in the afternoon, I put my civil hat on and do civil cases.
Have you had an opportunity to try any capital murder cases yet?
Yes, two.
Very good. Those are tough.
They're very
Have they
hard.
been upheld on appeal
Yes,
at the court of?
yes.
Well, very
I
good.
haven't had anything overturned.
That's
That's
huge.
another thing. The first 6 months on the bench, every week I got 2 mandamus from the Court of Appeals overturning my predecessor. So not only was I trying to get my feet under me, I was doing his work again.
Which is great. I understand Democratic judges, and it's like they can't follow A or B or C without a pointer. But thank you very much. Those are just my questions. And when you were in civil law, did you do mostly criminal defense work? Did
No,
you do
no.
lots of civil appeal work?
No,
What did you do?
I worked for corporations. I did real estate, tax, contracts, insurance, all the things.
But not much trial work.
Very little trial work,
Okay, that may be to your advantage.
maybe. But I've done it all.
Yeah, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. A lot of our trial judges are trial lawyers just because we've been before the judges, but that's not necessarily a requirement.
I have a really good reputation in the courthouse in Fort Bend, so.
I believe that. I do. Human fairness and it's really important. Your judicial temperament is extremely important.
Yes.
And how bright are you? So that's
Right.
important too. And how bright are you? What was your GPA at Baylor?
I think those records were burned.
All I gotta say is my average at Rice was C plus, so don't
Ooh.
woo, C plus, pretty bad.
Great question. I can't follow that, but you brought up something that you're in district court right now, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you're moving to and running for Court of Appeals, correct?
yes.
Okay, why the switch?
Okay, let me say that again. During my first 6 months on the bench, every week I got my predecessors got overturned twice. When they do that, they send you the logic, right? And I was glad they overturned it because he was wrong, but then I would read what they were writing. And the Democrat judges on the Court of Appeals, the justices on the Court of Appeals, weren't following precedent. They were making stuff up, which worked because we got the result we wanted because we overturned the terrible cases that this guy had. But they weren't following precedent, that's not law.
Okay, so then it's been a Democrat that's been in that position in the Court of
In
Appeals.
2018, all the R's were washed out. And this is it's a 6-year term, so this is time, again, for all those to be at it.
So the person running against you, has they been in that position before, or
The primary?
the one that you're going to be running against in the primary? Yes.
No, she's a lawyer in Houston. She's a criminal defense lawyer, and she's actually done 105 criminal defense appeals, and I'm the tired of crime judge, so she's exactly the opposite of me. She's getting convicted criminals out of prison, and I'm putting them in, so for whatever that's worth. We need that. We need people to do good appellate work and make sure that our rights are upheld, but she's just the mirror image of me in that.
Thank you for clarifying.
Any other questions?
could clear something up for me that I've always been puzzled by. If somebody robs a federal bank, the local police can put a stop to them and enforce the federal law against robbing federal banks. So can local police enforce federal law? And by enforce, I mean, can they arrest people and, for breaking federal law? And, you know, is that not permitted? I mean, it confused me. I'm a little confused on the subject because of all the recent litigation.
What specifically are you talking about? Yes, our local law enforcement, if they see someone breaking the law, can arrest someone, whether it's a federal law or not. Oh, are you talking about the border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to trap you. I'm trying to lead up to the question of the border.
Yes.
If local police see somebody breaking federal law on the border, can they not arrest them?
They can. The problem is, are the feds gonna then indict and prosecute that person for breaking federal law?
So, they can stop them and arrest them, but they have to turn them over to the federals
Yes.
and release them?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the problem. Because our federal government is not enforcing the law.
Now, can the state enforce its own borders?
Well, Governor Abbott did a declaration today, and he's gonna try and do that. He's gonna try and do that as a state unilaterally without the feds, and I hope he's successful.
Okay.
I can answer that.
He put that out today, so.
Any other questions?
One more? Time for one more, we'll transition to the next. All right.
Look at that okra, is that good?
You want some?
No.
Yeah. So I would like to follow up on his question. So if federal sits there and has a law or a policy, not necessarily the law, and they use state and local law enforcement to carry it out, how does that work? I'll give you an example. Department of Veteran Affairs has red flag laws on veterans. So the Department of Veteran Affairs police will call state and local police to enact laws that are federal on, or policies, not even laws, on veterans.
Okay, so what she's saying is that the feds have red flag laws on veterans, and the feds call the local law enforcement to enforce those laws. The local law enforcement can refuse to enforce them.
Okay.
So if you have a Republican sheriff who's not in the, who's pro Second Amendment, then you've got a good chance of avoiding it altogether.
Okay, so where does it come with judges on that? I mean, how could they easily dismiss that because it's a policy, it's not law? How can they try that in court is what I'm saying, as a criminal case?
I don't understand the question. Do you?
Say it again.
So basically this, if it is a policy, not a law.
Can you speak louder, please?
Yeah, sorry. If it's a policy, not a law, how are they actually able to, take that to court? And they do all the time in veterans court.
Well, the Veterans Court has a very different jurisdiction, so they have a different level of proof. They can use different statutes and policies. Is this yours?
Yes.
Oh, she's so cute. I gave her one of my push cards earlier. She's ended up with 2. I don't hope she votes for me.
She's Republican in training, guys.
That's awesome. All 4 of my kids are Republicans, so. Did I answer your question?
Kind of, sort of.
You can take it offline and I guess we'll
We'll
continue.
figure it out.
George, you got the mic?
Yeah.
So, appreciate it.